Hey, I'm Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co. And today with me, I have Roy Canaday from a little known channel called The Dice Tower, and also the designer of a, well, soon to be very well known game called Last Light. Roy, how are things?
Things are going pretty good. Let's hope that that turns out to be true. Super excited to be
Define
here.
pretty good. Does pretty good mean I win or just that the game goes okay?
I'm excited. There's a lot of things to be excited about right now. I'm super stoked about everything. This game is currently up on GameFound, and I'm super excited at the response that the community has had so far. And I'm super excited to be here teaching it to you.
Yeah, it's awesome. This, by the way, for those who don't know, this is going to be a gameplay of Last Light, specifically the two-player mode of Last Light, which is something that apparently Roy's gotten a lot of questions on.
Hmm.
There will be a link to the game found down in the description down below. And in case you missed it, Tom, when Roy was out of the studio, finally decided to cave and shamelessly self-promote something from his own channel, which is unfortunate. Like, it's a scandal. It's a scandal, I tell you. But aside from the scandal, he seemed to like the game, so that seems to bode well for it. And I, for myself, speaking for myself, I've already played this game, not at the two-player mode. This is my first time
Hmm.
playing a two-player, and I can tell you I like the game, and that's two opinions, and that's all you really need.
Yeah, I was actually super shocked. I had no clue he was doing that. So I was like, literally, Emerson Matsushi, the designer of like Century, actually texted me. He's like, "Hey, congratulations on Tom's opinions on your game." And I was like, "What? Where?" And he's like, "Oh,
Yeah.
on this little known channel, the Dice Tower." And I had to like go and like find it, So that was kind of crazy.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's interesting because like I've been watching the Dice Tower for long enough to know that Tom is very averse to any form of like self promotion, and
Yeah, yeah.
I expected from day one that didn't matter how much he liked this game. I expected him to not like he's talked about this in the past about
Hmm.
reviewing his own games and even having the Dice Tower and other people on the Dice Tower review the games. How he doesn't like that and it feels all messy. And I appreciate that he valued you
Right.
enough and the game enough to break that for this case. But
He's
anyways,
he's
that's
very ethics first, which is
yeah.
good and important, especially for a
Yeah.
reviewer. So.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. But let's go ahead and dive into this game. Last Light, I'm gonna break it to the two-player mode. Now, Roy's gonna be teaching me how to play
Hmm.
two-player. I know the basic game. I guess we'll cover some of that as we go as well. The general idea of Last Light is a simultaneous play 4x game that promises a 60-minute experience with four players. I don't know whether you promise 60 minutes with eight players, but either way, it seems pretty impressive. Having
I
played
have
it on,
had I have
yeah,
had 8 player games in person that have ended in like an hour and 15 minutes, which
that's
is
pretty. Yeah.
mind blowing. And most of those players are new, so the full limits of that is for you to test.
It's incredible. I mean, the game really does manage to deliver because in my experience in playing 4X games, I've played a lot of them, and usually they are either incredible but also incredibly long, or they end up feeling like they heavily compromised on what a 4X does. And while obviously there's some degree of abstraction going on in this to bring it down to 60 minutes, I feel
Hmm.
this is the best match from what I've played at least. This is the best hybrid match of hitting that playtime while maintaining as much of that essence as possible. So
I'm
yeah, I'm
I'm
curious to
just
see how the two player goes.
a huge fan of the genre of 4X games. Like I have tons of those games in my like top 10 of games of all time. I love it. And like this is kind of like my love letter to the 4X genre. So I've worked on this for a while to kind of like bring it to the table and hopefully people get excited about it too.
Great. So let's go ahead and dive into this. If you
So
want to teach me how to play two players, what's the differences?
So 2 players is kind of interesting because it ends up being around the same sort of playtime, maybe a little bit quicker here because we don't have as many people maybe like gumming things up as far as like taking time to pick their actions and stuff like that. But an interesting thing about it is that there is a neutral faction that will start in the center of the board here. So there are two small ships here from the yellow player color. You take one of the other player colors, add it in there. Basically, at the end of each round, that neutral faction will be added to the middle of the board. There's a few interesting things about this. The current player that is losing the game will control this neutral faction. Um, there's special rules about the ships that are controlled. They can't explore any planets. They can't
Okay.
be used to construct or build your extractors on any planets or anything like
Okay.
that. And they don't gain you light for the very center space either. But they can totally be used for combat, for attacking your opponent. They can totally be used for blockading them from gaining light on their different planets. And the control of this neutral faction is going to split back and forth in between the players as the game goes along. So if you're currently the player with the lower light count, you're going to be controlling that neutral faction. And
Okay.
if it's tied, nobody controls the neutral faction. So
And
it's like
that's
a weird,
instantaneous.
it is instantaneous. So as soon as you're tied or as soon as you go above, you no longer have control of them. They will go to your graveyard just like normal ships will. So you'll still be able to blow them up and fight them off and be able to gain light if you destroy enough of them to fill up your graveyard. But this kind of adds that interesting balance and dynamic of not always necessarily wanting to win the game and not wanting to be the current winner of the game. If you're going to gain control of like the high point score, you want to push far past so that way you can overcome not controlling the neutral ships.
Gotcha. Okay,
Awesome.
cool.
But everything else is the same. We're going to be selecting. We have our 6 different action cards. We can select one of those, play it out. Of course, we start the game with 0 light, so neither of us have control of the neutral faction until somebody actually gains light. And then we're going to start being able to use them and move them out as somebody starts actually winning the game. But yeah, a few things to note is that the planetary achievements, you're still going to select one of those and choose it, and it will be your planetary achievement for the game. And that'll kind of be like what you're working towards as far as like set collection of the color of the planets. So you're going to choose one of those to keep and get rid of the other ones. I think I'm going to keep this one and get rid of these.
And then one of the 2 alien races.
And then one of the 2 alien races.
Okay.
So I'm going to get rid of these.
That color.
And this color. Okay. And then I think I'm going to get rid of these guys. I'm going to keep the guys that I can immediately buy back my ships when you destroy them. I can immediately put them back out onto play instead of it going to your graveyard.
Okay. Now where do I put these discard achievements?
You can just set it off to the side. Okay. Normally they would go back to the game box and things like that. Yeah, so we have our TTS mod here that we've done a lot of work, and this is actually the TTS mod is live on the Game Found page with the rulebook as well. So you can check out the rulebook. You can play it on TTS. I've actually had a lot of people that have learned from the rulebook and been playing on TTS and like been super excited about it already. So I'm super stoked for that. So we can select our first action.
And immediately gain 1 crystal. Ooh, I like Altera. That seems fun. I'm gonna go with Altera.
Cool. I'll throw this over here in the stack up with the rest of them. And we start with 1 small ship on the board, 1 extractor in our little blue space here on our generational colony ship thing here, and we start with 1 blue resource. So at the beginning of the game, you could research to try to gain more tech. You could mine to gain the 1 blue resource. You could construct to start building stuff out. You could trade to try to get better resources. But then in a 2-player game, it's a little bit more tricky because you're going to give your opponent a blue resource. You can command to start moving out. And as you notice that in a 2-player game, you start much closer to the ring here in the middle, and there are asteroids kind of blockading the outer areas, like the distant areas on the board. So it's very much closer and getting right there to the middle, because the whole game is, of course, about getting 20 light and winning the game. So we can more easily just kind of jump out there and make stuff happen. And we do start with a technology in our hand that's unresearched that you can start towards building as well. So there's a little something to work for also. So I'll go ahead and select my cards there. And once you're ready, we can go ahead and
my cards over here. I'll give a second to quickly go through these over here. We need to spend resources. Okay, fine. I need that over there. Gather this, that. Okay, and then we want to go ahead and okay, so I can go ahead and do that to get that. Okay, fine. Let's go ahead. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Okay. I'm ready.
And we can go ahead and flip.
Okay. I'm gonna do trade.
I am commanding. So all the actions in the game are simultaneous, so we can kind of do them at the same time.
Yep. So I'm gonna go ahead and take a blue resource and then trade the 2 blue resources for a green.
Yep. And then you'll choose an opponent to gain a blue. Which I mean, I guess that
choosing you reluctantly. It's not like so much a choice as it is a necessity.
I am moving into the space here, and I'm going to flip over the exploration thing here. And this will give me an unresearched tech into my hand, and it will produce blue in the future. So I'll just take a tech card. All these events have, like, in the grayed out area is kind of like the things that immediately happen when you flip the token. And in the darker area, it shows the resource that is actually produced by that space.
Okay.
By actually having an extractor on that planet. So we just go ahead and select our next card. It still ends up being super quick as we're doing all the different stuff on the board here. I did like your...
I'm going to go ahead and I've chosen.
I'm good.
Okay, I'm going to do research. So, yeah, research over here. I guess we should probably walk through these actions as we're going for the first few times for the players, and we'll just slow down for the first round or so. But my first action was I did a trade action. A trade action is going to involve taking 2 of those actions, gaining resources and trading up, and then choosing an opponent to get a blue. That would be Roy, obviously, in this case. Roy took a command action. which allows him to move all of his ships up to his spade and then potentially attack anywhere where he has any presence with any of his ships, whether or not they moved. On
Yep.
my end, I went with a research action where I'm going to both research and draw 4 tech cards, adding 2 of them to my unresearched techs, as well as being able to manufacture techs, which I'll do in a second. And then Roy went with a construct action, which is building ships in a colony ship sector and building 1 construct either on a planet you've annexed or at your colony ship. His colony ship will currently starts with a construct, and he's going to add, or an extractor, and he's going to have 2 more added. You about to say, Roy?
Yep, I built 2 ships with the blue resources I had, and then I'm building an extractor on this planet out here that will produce blue in the future for me as well.
Okay, great. Now I just drew 4 attacks, and I have to discard 2 of them, correct?
Yep, you'll discard 2, and then you'll choose 2 to keep, and then out of the 3 that you have left in your hand, because you started with 1, you will be able to build them. So if you have something that just costs a green, you'll be able to
Yep.
build it out if you want to.
Which is what I'll be doing in a second. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that one. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and play this over here, this development. And this development goes, this goes to my, it just goes off to the side, right? The blue one.
Yes.
Okay.
All of the civilizations just kind of go into play. Oh
Yep.
wow, that's a good one. It's a good one right
Yep.
there for the beginning.
That's why I started off with the trade and then the research. And I bet you can guess what my next card is.
I'm thinking you're probably waiting to get that down before you played construct.
Indeed, I am. You ready?
Yep, I am
Okay.
going to be mining.
Mining. And now I think between that, we just have the refresh action left, and that's basically everything. So the mine, what's it called? Roy went ahead and played mining to gather resources for each of the mining
Yep.
constructs, which starts as basic one. And I
Yep.
assume you placed one down in your last turn as well, right?
Yep, I have
Yep.
one on a planet here, which produces
Perfect.
the blue resource, and then I have one on my colony ship sector, which allows me to gain a blue resource there as
And
well.
in
So
my
I
case,
gain 2 blue.
I was able to build both my extractors down on the colony ship because of that extra civ card, and then from
Yep.
there that means, and I'm not going to be able to build ships because I don't have any ships and they all cost resources.
Yep.
I don't have any resources.
And then this development will actually exhaust, so you either turn it sideways or flip it over, either way.
Yep. Perfect.
So there are cards that allow you to get action cards back into your hand, so he would have to actually refresh to be able to play that card back out, which we will be talking about in a second.
Yep. And then I'm going to go ahead and play mine. Well, I'm not going to tell you what I'm playing. That's what I mean.
I'm actually going to go here.
Okay.
Ready?
And I went ahead and mined, gathering a resource, so I gather 2 blues and a green.
Since you were super nice enough to trade with me, I'm going to trade as well. I gain a blue, and then I will turn 2 blues into a green, and then I give you a blue. Did you take your blue? Or
I did indeed.
okay,
You're a prince.
perfect. And I won't let it happen again. Trust me.
Okay.
But yeah, I am now ready for my next action.
Likewise.
And another thing
Okay.
to note is you don't have to wait until all of your action cards are played out to play refresh, but it is an interesting dynamic of in the 2-player game of like when do you play that refresh, because gaining light makes you lose control of the neutral faction. So
Yep.
I'm kind of in this precarious spot of like I have a thing here on this planet. If I play refresh, I'm going to actually gain light. So therefore, you're going to have those ships in the middle.
And for context, whenever you refresh, you're going to get light both for having ships in the center, your ships, not the neutral, as well as you're going to get light for every single planet, unobstructed planet you control. That's correct?
Well, you get light in the middle when the board actually rotates. So when everybody
When it
else has played
rotates,
their
yeah.
refresh. Yeah.
Okay, I'm ready.
And we can flip. I am
went-
researching now.
I refreshed. Okay.
Okay.
So I exhaust my card. I pull back all my other cards. This back's 1.
Wow, I need that.
And okay. And then my refresh stays out.
Who designed these texts? Like, I want to keep all of them. Like, this is messed up. Like, I have to discard some of these. It's not fair. I guess I'm going to get rid of this. I don't really want to, but I guess I will. And then I'll get rid of this as well. And then I will play out Supersonic, which changes the speed of my ships. I'll put out my small ships so they can now move 2 spaces instead of just 1. And that costs me a blue and a green resource. So there is that. And then you would check for your research to see if you have any inner or outer planets, and then check if you have 4 technology, which
I don't have either.
Yep. So the NPC ships are still neutral, but you have all your cards back. So there's that.
Are we ready to go for the next round? Which I
am
know what you're
terrified.
playing inherently. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and do this. Okay.
Yep. And we flip. I am refreshing.
Okay. And then I'm going to construct, so I'm going to build ships in the colony sector. I will go ahead and build a single, and I can build as many as I want over there, correct? Yeah, build
Yep,
ships,
as
okay.
many as you
So
can
I'm building
afford.
one small ship and then one medium ship
Mhm.
and then another small ship.
So I gain a light for my refresh action there.
Mm-hmm.
So you currently have control of the neutral ships,
Dun, dun,
which is
dun,
kind of
dun, dun.
terrifying.
You okay?
I am going to attempt to be okay with
And
this.
we both pull back our refresh cards, correct?
Yes, we pull back our refresh
Okay.
cards and we rotate the board. This is another interesting aspect of the game. Everybody talks about how fast the game is, but the fact that the board itself rotates in an area control game is not a thing that's normally seen in board games. So in TTS mod, we just click this twice, and it'll spin it around for us, give the next player the token there, and even more ships are added to the middle. So now
Nice.
there are 4 yellow ships in the middle, which Alex currently has control of. I don't feel too comfortable about that. Maybe I need to keep my ships out of arm's reach. But do note that all the neutral ships always have the stats of that size ship. So they all have 1 attack, 1 movement, and 1 defense for these
And do they
little
benefit
neutral guys.
from the player's perks?
Nope, it's just base stats based
Okay.
on the thing. So they don't get to do any of the cool perks or anything like that. It's just whatever normal stuff is.
Okay.
Cool.
Ready
And
when you are.
I am ready to go. I am flipping. I am
And
commanding. Oh
dun dun
wow.
dun. Okay, now this time around it goes order from player order. Who's currently first player?
Yep. So you're currently first player. And a thing to note is that command, if we can't move into the same space, then you still do those things simultaneously. But
Hmm.
if there is a opportunity for us to move in the same space, like he can move the neutral ships here, I can
Yeah.
also move there. You have to move your ships first.
Cool.
Because we
And
both played command, we would both attack each other back and forth if we end up in the same space.
yeah. Okay, so a few things over here on my end. I'm going to move a small ship down here. I'm going to move this ship over here. I'll move this one over here and this one over here. And then from these,
Wow.
I'm going to move this one down here, this one down here,
Mm-hmm.
this one down here, and this one down here.
A thing to remember is when
You
the
might get
alignment
control.
changes, for the bad guys,
Yeah.
you can kind of be like, oh wow, that messed me up because it's now in my way and things like that. So I think
Okay.
now I'm going to move this guy here, and I don't know that I necessarily want to get shot at, so I think I'm going to go over here.
Okay. And then I should go ahead and flip all the things to take all the bonuses, right?
Yep, and then we flip
Okay.
everything.
So I
So
get a gear over here, this green resource. What's this other symbol over here? That's draw something.
that is, you can take one part of the trade action. So
Ooh,
since you have
okay.
just a green, you can just take a blue, basically, as
Great.
your
Okay.
options.
Great. Then I flip this down here, and that is a tech card. Is that a tech card?
Yeah.
I think it is, right? No,
That
no, it's not.
is, you gain a light.
Oh no. Oh, so I lose the ships.
Yep. So now the ships are once again neutral,
So
but
they
you weren't
immediately.
attacking with them. You weren't attacking with them anyway, so it wasn't that big of a deal
True,
at this
but
point.
what happens to the explore aspect? Are they
So
not my ships right now?
The NPC ships never actually explore any of the spaces.
Ah, okay, fine.
So
Okay,
those all stay there. And you have a nice
okay.
bag here that you can throw your light in as well to
Yeah,
help us keep
cool.
count. So we can just hover over, and it'll say on
Makes
the
sense.
side here for the scores in TTS.
Okay, so I still have
Um,
one more that I am resolving over here, which is this one, and that's going to be another light. Okay. Whoa, no! No,
and
that's
I
not good.
need to flip over this. You gained
Did
another
you,
light,
did you, yeah.
so now I control them. Wow, that
Yes.
a turn of events, a turn of events there. I got a couple free technologies.
Now, for
Um,
clarity, just to make sure I have this down correctly, I
mhm.
assume order of resolution matters a lot in this case. Like a battle over here could matter, and then I was discover that, and then that changes everything.
Yep. So all of the movement happens, which would
Hmm.
then reveal all of the tokens. Then all the
And
combat
then battle.
happens.
So
So in this
had you
case,
moved in
if I
here,
was
you would have
brave
actually
and
not
not
battled.
cowardly, I would have been able
Intimidated
to.
the aliens.
Yeah. But
Nice.
yeah, your aliens still scared me off from going towards the middle.
Okay.
But they are now my aliens, so there we go. But my command card is already on the table, so they're not going to be quite as useful for me.
Cool. Well, I'm ready when you are.
Oh wow, yeah, good to go. We're gonna flip this over and be
Oh,
ready.
and I still
Look at it.
flip this one. This one gives me, what's that symbol again?
That is, you get to take an action card back into your hand.
Oh no, that's incredible. Are you serious?
Yes, really
Oh
good.
my gosh. Well, in that case, I don't know if I want to do the action I had planned. No, I'm going to do the action I had planned. I'm going to stick with it. Okay.
Yep. And do note that taking the action card back
Actually,
into your
I'm
hand can
not.
never take refresh back into your hand, but it can take anything
Yes.
else.
Yeah. Okay. So
I am ready,
I'm ready to go. Okay.
and I'm
Ready?
flipping,
Same here.
constructing.
Constructing as
Except
well.
you're constructing way better than I am.
Yes, because I'm going
So,
to build 2 constructs down, and I'm going to have to tap that development. So I'm tapping
mhm.
development. I'm building 2 constructs down on these 2 different planets over here. Okay.
Wow,
And then that's going to generate green resources when I pop that up.
that's pretty
Okay.
good. It's pretty good.
I'm happy with it. I'm happy with it. And I can
Mm,
build ships too, can't I? Ooh, intriguing. Do I want to build a ship? I'm going to be getting a bunch of blues
you can
anyway.
build a small or a medium.
I think I'm going to go ahead and mediums have. What are the stats of mediums? They have two attack, 2 defense,
It's
and 1
still just one
movement.
movement, yeah.
Okay.
And they can
So
have up to
and
2 mods on them. So where the small ships
mhm.
can only have 1 mod.
Okay, fine. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and build a medium ship because I feel like you are just not a very nice person right now. And I'm a little worried about your degree of alien ships that you control.
Yes.
Okay. And it's
Okay, doke.
interesting. What I particularly appreciate about the neutral player is you're really heavily incentivized to use them and not just hold them
Oh, for
because they're
sure.
going to switch hands.
And you're incentivized to have your opponent blow them up because you don't want there to be too
Yeah.
many of them.
Okay. Cool. Well, so I've
So
done construct, and I'm ready with my next action when you are.
the catch that I'm in is the fact that we commanded both at the same time. If I actually refresh, then I
Yeah.
control. I lose control of them. So
That's actually fun.
so
I went ahead and mined. It looks like you did
I
as
am
well.
mining as well.
I'm going to generate 3 green and 2 blue.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And
I
then
feel like I need to
okay.
do this. Okay, okay.
I'm ready when you are.
I'm also ready.
I'm hitting
I'm
refresh.
going to research. Oh wow, refreshing coming out. And I'm going to go with 4, getting 4 cards in my hand. Which ones do I want? I definitely want to keep that. I'm going to get rid of.
Okay, now, do I
Expensive
get my
stuff.
light now?
Yes.
Okay,
So
I
if
should
you
get that.
have any inner or outer planets, you would get light for that. And if you had at least 4 technologies, you get light for that as
Okay, so
well.
just to clarify the inner and outer planets, the inner ones are the very inner ring, right?
Yep, the ones in
And
the
so
very middle ring right beside the star there. And then
so
the
I gain
outer
two
planets are the
light.
one on the larger ring.
Oh, so the furthest outer don't count at all.
Yes, those are distant planets, so you
Okay,
don't gain any light for the ones that are too far from the star.
so
There
I got a
is
single light.
technology, however, that can help you out with that.
Gotcha. So right now I have a single light.
Yes.
Okay.
And then I need to actually build things. Sorry. I'm going to definitely build this pioneering card because I love it. And then, do I have anything else I can build? I have nothing that just costs a single blue. I have a ton of technology, but not enough resources to play them. If
Okay.
only I could double construct like somebody.
I'm ready when you are.
Okay. Um, I'm going
Actually,
to
do I
go
want to
ahead and
change
do.
that? You know what? No, I'm actually doing this. Okay, I'm
This.
ready when you are now.
I am ready as well. And
Okay,
I'll
I'm
flip.
doing
I
technology
am
action.
refreshing.
I'm drawing 4 technologies to my hand.
I gain 2 light. Where are we at for score here? It's 3-3. So
Oh,
nobody has a
nice.
neutral faction.
4 2 tech cards. Add 2.
I'm going to exhaust my pioneering card to move this guy, all my small ships. This guy's going to move to here.
That's very cool. Oh, I
This
want these
guy's
cards.
going to move. Actually, this guy's going to move all the way over to here. So
Okay.
he can move 2
These
spaces.
tech cards. See,
This guy's
I
going to
remember
move to
the
here.
last time we played this game, and I remember saying one thing to you at the end of this game, that I wanted the text to
Yeah.
be a drop cooler. Now, that was like a year and a half ago, and I have no idea if you made changes to them or what you did or didn't do, but I just
Mhm.
wanted every single one of the 4 texts that I got, so I'm happy.
There you go. There you go.
Okay. And then now I can go
I'm moving
ahead
here.
and play. I can spend resources to research as many as I want, correct?
Yes, you can build a ton of them out
Oh, dude, you're
if you
gonna
have a ton of
destroy you.
resources. I got a token. I got a exploration token that gives me a free ship there, and I do get to flip this over, which lets me take an action card back to my hand. I don't have any actions that I can take currently, but but the board will rotate and we will take our refresh back once you are done with all of your actions.
Okay. Now, how do I place these cards on the board here?
So the special abilities are different abilities you can get with your ship that will trigger off of in
Yeah.
combat. So if you roll the ship ability symbol in combat, these will actually be placed. If you want on your medium ship, it would be like kind of in the green
There. Okay.
space
Cool.
here. The
Great.
mods actually are supposed to like tuck under a little bit, or they can be like
Okay.
placed below
Yep. Perfect. So I'll just do it
to
like
kind
that.
of give you the stats for the stuff. So if this is in your
And the
medium ship, it
specials
goes
is one per ship, and the mods vary based on size.
yes. So smalls can have one mod, mediums can have two mods, and large can have three mods.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and do this as well. So I'm gonna be putting this other mod here. So I'm just powering up my what's it called? So basically,
So
my orange ships can now move twice and get an extra shield.
that is terrifying.
No, it's only terrifying if you have to
I
deal
did
with them.
use Pioneering to move into the space here where the neutral faction is, but Pioneering doesn't actually allow me to attack, so I just kind of moved there. So now I'm sitting in the space with the
Okay.
baddies. They're neutral
I
guys.
am now ready for the next situation.
Oh yeah, I should do situations too. Dag, you have so many cards back in your hand.
Now, the neutral factions don't prevent domination of a sector, right? As long as they're
They
neutral.
they 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 still count for stopping people from being able to control a sector by putting a
Even when
construct
they're
on it,
neutral?
even when they're neutral. So
Oh,
if they're neutral, they're technically against both of us. They just don't move.
gotcha. Can we
So
engage
you
with them?
actually you can go in there and blow them up when they're not on your
So we
team.
could.
So
Okay, cool. Okay,
um, I am
cool.
ready.
I'm ready when you are.
Yep.
Command.
Command also. Ooh.
Who's star
So
player still? Has that switched?
oh wait, the board was supposed to rotate just now. This is actually really
Oh.
bad. This is actually really bad because I would also gain a light because the board rotated and I was in the middle. So now we commanded, and
Okay.
you control the neutral faction.
Oh, so my refresh goes back to my hand. I didn't take that back yet. Okay, cool.
And I also have to move first. So I'm going to move my stuff. Ugh, I don't like any of this. I'm going to move this guy to here.
Okay.
And this guy, he can go two spaces. Where's he going to go? He's going to go on two to over here and explore this. I'm done with my movement.
And do the asteroids block movement?
Yes, asteroids are basically like shrink the board for the player count. So
Perfect.
basically,
Okay,
spaces with asteroids are not spaces for the game. So
great. So
also
I'm gonna go
this
ahead and move
guy's
some stuff
gone
around the
away.
board. You have people in that zone, but I think I'm
Yep.
comfortable with the fact. Oh, you have a construct in this zone, an extractor. How did I get rid of the
Yes.
extractor? I need the bomber
So
ability.
you need a large ship. They have bombardment, so they can actually destroy constructs. Or you need to upgrade your other ships to have bombardment. So normally,
Gotcha.
just the large ships can blow up
So
constructs.
hypothetically, for instance, I could, if I had a smaller ship over here, let's say, I could just simply move the said smaller ship here just to prevent you from being able to harvest. But I can't actually attack
Yes,
or engage it right now.
right. And I would
Okay.
actually like to gain less light, so all these yellow ships that are everywhere aren't going to
Gotcha. So I'm going to
hurt
go
me as
ahead
much.
and go 1,
Uh,
2 with this ship over here because it can move
okay.
2. That's a medium. This one over
Yep.
here is going to go 1, 2 over here. No reason.
Hmm.
And
Oh, I'm
then,
so sure, no reason.
yeah, no reason at all. And then the problem is my smaller ships are not actually as vicious as I would like. You have a
You
single
do
smaller
get to
ship
move
there.
all of the neutral ships as well, though.
I do get to move them all. Oh, that's
Yes.
right. I forgot
And a
about
thing
this.
and a thing to note is that the neutral ships are no longer going to stop you from being able to gain
Yeah.
planets. They will blockade my stuff. They will also attack my ships.
Okay. So we're gonna move that one there. We're gonna move this one here. We're gonna move this one here.
This is quite
Oh, there's a
unfortunate,
medium ship.
Alex.
Okay.
I am not a
Unfortunate is
fan
a
of any
relative
of
term.
this.
I'm gonna go here, 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 and here. I think that really heavily puts some oomph into the situation. And then we're gonna move this ship over here. And then I think that's my move action, which means it's time for
Quite
combat, isn't
frankly, I'm
it?
disgusted.
Yep. Seems about right. Okay.
Okay. So it looks
Before
like we
first
have
I
some
resolve,
combats.
do we flip things
Oh
first?
yes, I flipped my
Okay.
things already. You can go ahead and flip yours. So that
I
doesn't give
get
you anything
light.
immediately, but you will be able to
Oh.
mine light from that space.
Oh, it's mine light. Okay, fine. It's not.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Fine. And let's go ahead and just resolve the rest of the stuff.
Okay, So you can choose. Well, technically, I'm first player, so I choose which sectors I want to resolve combat in first. I guess we're gonna resolve it in this one with the neutral first.
Okay.
So I'll be rolling a die against the one die against the neutral ships, and you'll be rolling two for the small ships and one for the large ship. You can just literally roll 4 dice because they don't have any special
Yep.
abilities. I think you probably got me. I did get a hit though, so I will take out one of the small
Okay.
neutral ships.
I got burst and 2 hits. I don't think I need the burst.
Yep, you have overkilled me.
Okay.
So this will go to your graveyard.
Great. Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. And I get to
Yep.
cast
So
those in.
if you kill at least
4.
4 ships, then you will, or 4 units in general, including the
Yep.
extractors, you will be able to gain a light.
Okay. And then over here I do 4 as well. Now, do you choose who dies?
Yes, I will get 2, and you'll get 4, and we'll both choose who dies. Basically, you can't attack the neutral ships currently because you control them. I got
So I
1
got
hit.
2 hits.
I'm going to take out your ship, and you got 2 hits, so
Well,
you'll take out both
yep.
of my ships.
Okay.
And the neutral ships now are beast in that
Well in
section.
control. Okay.
Yep. And that seems terrible for me, man. That's terrible.
Everything's relative. It's your game.
Relative. I don't know about that. I think it's, quite frankly, everybody can tell that's terrible.
1 second.
Poor choices. I shouldn't have moved that ship into the middle. That's what really messed me up. I'm so used. That's the thing, is you have to think about your light count constantly in the 2-player game to be able to make sure you're underneath the other player.
Yeah, but decisions. Okay. I think I'm gonna go ahead and play a card here. I'm ready when you are.
I'm ready.
Ooh,
I am going to
interesting. I'm playing this card here. Sorry.
Okay,
It's
I
all
am
good.
mining. Yeah, I
I'm
figured you were going to
constructing.
construct because being able to get the center planet is amazing.
Yep.
But also,
Yep.
you'll get a ton of light, and I will be able to
That's the
control all
point.
these tasty, tasty yellow ships. I'm going to gain a green and a blue and a blue.
Oh, and then my planetary achievements have to be played immediately, right?
You can play them at any point that you actually have them achieved.
So
So in a
in this
two-player
game, it's
game,
kind of you want to wait to the end.
right, yes. In a 2-player game, you definitely want to wait till you can play it as the winning move. If you're
Okay.
ever in threat of losing your planetary achievement, i.e., somebody coming in and taking that planet from you, you probably want to, at that point, play it.
Okay. Cool.
But yeah, in a multiplayer game, you kind of hold on to it to kind of like, can sometimes obscure how many points you're currently on, that sort of thing.
All right, so I played construct. I'm ready for my next card whenever you are.
Ready? Am I ready? I guess I'm going to be ready. I don't want to be ready. We're going to do this.
Now I can't play a construct at this ship over here because at this planet because you have one already. An extractor.
Right. Yes, you have to destroy it off of there before you can.
Okay.
So we've pretty much explored most of the galaxy here already. So, and I am flipping. I am constructing.
I'm mining. Okay, so I'm going to gain a light. Does that put my light count tie with yours yet? No. Yes, it does. So I no longer control those ships. Okay.
I'm going to build a medium.
And then I get the remaining resources as well.
And another medium ship. And a small ship. Yes. That's what I want.
I'm ready when you are.
And then I'm going to construct on the green space on my colony ship because I had myself set up to construct in a couple different places, but these neutral ships came in here and blasted me away. Now they're on my side. Don't think it was
blasting.
Now they're on my side and getting wrecked. Where are you at now? Oh, you're at 4?
Yep.
Exactly,
and I just refreshed. I'm going to be more in a second.
Hold on a second. I'm going to... Oh, yeah, I'm going to do this. I am refreshing. Put this back.
I get what's it called? I believe I get 3 light, 1 for the inner and 2 for the inner and 1 for the outer. Correct?
Yep, and you have 4 technologies, so you would gain another light.
Do I have 4? I do have 4. Oh my gosh! I didn't realize.
1 for my planet here. I would gain 1 for my planet here, but there seems to be some sort of purple ship sitting on there. I'm not sure what it's doing there, but it is
visiting.
Blockading me. So now you've gone ahead and gone way ahead in points.
But that means you get all these fun little ships over here.
But the board does now rotate, so we both get our refresh cards back.
Which was very quick.
We rotate the board. And
Okay.
then I am definitely going ahead and doing this. Oh, and also let me unflip this. I'm going to, yeah. Okay, I'm ready for this.
I am. Yeah, I'm ready as well. Ready?
Okay, doke. Yep.
Let me refresh.
Rude.
I'm not sure if it's the right move or not, but four light
I
just
think it
seems like
is. I think it is the right move. You know, I don't like it,
very
but I
hard
think
to
it
give
is the
that
right
up.
move. I'm definitely going to be attacking everywhere, though.
Yeah, that's what I figured. That's why I wanted to get it in ASAP.
Um, but now we get to see
Yeah, and for those
how
wondering, the
well.
refresh resolves before the command because of the number of 5 instead of 6
Yep.
top corner. Strictly
Yep.
speaking,
So
cards
if you want
resolve
to
if they want.
blockade somebody, you need to blockade them before the turn before, basically. So
Yeah.
now I have a little bit of combat. Actually, it's mostly neutral ships fighting on my behalf, but
Yeah.
it is all medium neutral ships. So I have 4 attacks against your ship here. So I'll
Okay,
roll
I have an
four
extra
dice.
shield, so I have 3 shields in that ship.
Okay. So it takes 3 hits to knock it out. We will roll these. It looks like I got 2
2.
hits. So we have these nifty damage counters, which will sit on you, and this damage will go away when you actually play a refresh card again.
Okay.
And then I'm
Oh,
attacking,
yeah, okay, gotcha. Sorry, go ahead.
yeah, and then I'm attacking this ship here, which is just 2 dice. So I'll
Yep.
highlight 2 of these and roll them. And as you notice, the combat is actually asynchronous.
Ooh, you got a burst.
Yep, but that 2 is enough to. Oh, I
No,
actually need
it's
to
not.
roll
It's
that
not.
burst,
You need to hit
and
that burst.
I need to hit that
Don't do
burst
it.
and it
Don't
actually
do
do
it.
it.
Get a blank. Don't.
Are you
Yes.
serious?
Yes.
Who designed this game?
I'm so happy
Uh,
right now.
okay, so that
Okay.
guy has 2 damage as well, and you're
Yep.
still
And then I get
blockading
to go
me.
ahead and attack back. I only roll 1
Um,
dice, I believe. No, I
so
roll 2, don't I?
only the person that plays command gets to
Oh,
attack.
that's right. That's right.
Combat is very asynchronous, so it's really important in the now that I have control of these neutral ships. The fact that I'm going to be able to continue to control them and continue to attack. If I had a
Okay.
way to get back my command card, I'd be able to wreck house. But
Okay. So
um
my turn, right?
um, it is
I
both of our
still,
turns.
do I still control those planets, or you block control,
You still control the planets,
but they don't
but
produce?
they don't produce light. You can still mine resources from them, though. So this
Okay.
one, you can actually mine light from it, so you can gain a light when you mine. You're currently at
Something I should
12. That
probably
is
do.
terrifyingly gross.
No. Let's not focus on things like words.
Like
Okay.
words.
Like
I
words.
don't
Let's not
even.
focus on things like words at all.
I don't understand what it even means, Alex.
Technical
Okay.
details or stuff. Okay.
Technical details or stuff. Um,
Stuff. Okay. I
man,
think
I
I
really.
kind of have to do this next move, so I'm going to do it and do it. Ready when you are.
I kind of need to do this move. Okay, we're gonna do this crazy play. Ready?
Okay.
Flipping.
I'm going to go ahead and construct.
I'm going to pioneer to move my small ships. This guy's gonna move here. This guy's gonna move here. I only have 2 small ships now. That's actually a little bit of a bummer. I'm going to construct. Um, I'm going to construct a small ship from your graveyard,
Okay.
Alex. So you can pay an opponent to build
Yes.
ships out of their graveyard, but the resources go to that opponent. So I'm giving
Is
you a
this
blue to build
simultaneous?
another
Can I
small.
use those resources now?
Um, it basically any actions I do are based on the speed of the card I played. So I played a 3, you played a 3 as well. So technically, you would be able to do them at the same time.
Excellent. So I'll
So
use that last blue resource to generate a last ship again over here. Small little guys.
that is
Okay.
rough for me. But I am building an extractor on the space here in the
Okay.
middle.
And then,
I'm
given
trying
the
to.
board state right now, I'm just going to go ahead and play my planetary achievement to get 2 extra light. Because I
Dad, what
have
are you
2
at
red
now? You're at
planets.
13. You're
14.
just saying I'm never going to.
I'm just not certain that you might take that planet from me, and I might actually need that extra edge.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. I'm ready for the
I need
next
to go
turn when you
ahead and
are.
like do this. Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay.
I'm
Do
flipping.
command.
I am refreshing before you can command.
Oh. Oh.
Okay, so
The
I gain
timing.
2 light. I gain 2 light off of my center one there.
Oh
I
my gosh,
gain
2. Wait, it's
one
2 per
light
ship or it's 1 per ship?
here. I gain just because I control this one. I gain
Oh,
two light there.
you're not talking about the double refresh because
I'm
right now
not
the board's
talking
my
about the
turn.
middle yet. Yeah.
Okay.
So that
So you're gonna
happens
get one for the middle
after
too.
combat. So you'll be able to move and do combat with everything
Ah,
before that
nice.
happens. Um, but yeah, all of your ships are back there in the background. And I do not have 4 technologies yet, so I don't gain light from that. But I am up to a whopping 8 to your 14, sir.
Okay. So you did that, which means to a certain extent, it might be in my best. Just correct me strategically if I'm wrong here. It might be in my best interest to move my medium ship to the center and attack, knowing I'll get that light.
Yeah, that seems. I mean, I would like you to not do that, but it seems
Great.
that
So
like
I'll do
that
that.
is probably pretty strategically sound.
Okay. So I'll do that over there. That's gonna be the movement there. I'm gonna work my movements in from the inner out. My ships can move too. I don't know if I'll survive over here, but I'm the one
Well, they're not
attacking,
going
and
to
they'll
attack you
heal.
back
Yeah.
currently,
So I think I
but
will go ahead and move this one in here to try to preserve that planet just in case. That's going to be there over there. And then I have my other medium ship, which can also move 1, 2 straight into here. So that's going to happen over
oh,
there
so
with
that's
that
going to
medium
help
ship.
you be able to clear that out. That's yeah,
Yep.
that's not good.
Okay. And then these guys are going to just wander into this zone to try to slowly take out that guy. Because why
Hmm.
not? And I
With 4
think
ships, I don't think it's going to be very slow.
Yeah, and I think that is my move, which means I'm going to attack. I'm going to resolve this combat over here first. That's going to be 4 dice against the what's it called ship. I just need to get 2 hits, I
The
believe,
neutral ship, yeah.
and I
Oh
do get
wow.
those 2 hits. Double
Yep.
burst, waste of a double burst. This goes into my graveyard, which
Yep.
means I get that over there. Then I'm going to go ahead and attack the center planet over here, which is going to be 2 dice,
Yep.
2 dice over there against your ship, and
Yep.
I get a hit.
Wow.
Burst. Wow! I kill this. Now
I just
immediately, I
want you to
believe
know.
you get
Yes, you
yeah,
immediately gain a light, and I gain my
yeah.
ships back. I do want to note all the misses I got and
Yes,
all the
it's very unfair.
hits
It's
you
very
got.
unfair. Okay, there's your ships.
Sometimes you pour your heart and soul into something and to create it, and it just betrays you.
You know
You
what?
know.
I mean this not even in a bantering sense, but in a genuine sense. One of my problems with the 4X genre is the fact that you have those moments and you're playing a 3.5 hour long game.
The
In an
thing that
hour
I
long
love,
game, it's
like,
not as punishing.
there's so many other games in this genre that like it's really punishing for you to ever attack, so you never do.
Yes.
This game I made it since the combat's asynchronous. Like you feel like it's like I might as well attack. You know, I might
Yeah.
as well do it. So you get a lot more opportunity to actually roll those dice,
So I'm
which
gonna go
means
ahead and
you can do it
hit those
more.
guys. Okay.
Okay.
And that's gonna be I got 1 hit, 1 burst, and 1 hit over here, as well as a special. Do I activate a special? I think I do. I
You
have to
do
look.
have
No, I
something.
don't.
Oh,
I
you have
don't. Oh, I do, don't I?
you have planning, so you
Okay.
can return an action card to your hand if you exhaust your planning card, which seems really
Great.
good.
So I killed both of these ships. I have all hits over there. So they're both dead, which means another 2 hits into my graveyard.
Ugh.
And then I can go ahead and return a ship back to my hand. Now, can I return the very ship the command card? Can I return that?
You could, yes.
Okay. So I'm going to exhaust this card. So I'm going to exhaust planning, and I'm going to return command to my hand because it seems like a relevant thing to do.
I feel like this game's
And
gonna be very short-lived from here on out.
no. I mean, I had an objective that this game is under an hour, and we're currently at 35 minutes. So just letting
It's
you
gonna
know.
be extremely fast. We don't
Okay.
have very many turns left, and it's not
That's
looking
that.
good for me. We get
Okay.
our refresh cards back into our
Yep.
hand. Um,
The board turns, and I believe I get a light. It's 1 light, right?
yes. I
Okay.
just played refresh, so these cards are back in my hand as well. Um,
Okay.
and you get your 1 light, and then we rotate the board. There are now large ships in the middle.
Okay. And I'm going
Yeah.
to do my action
But
here.
do note that you basically, when you're putting out, for the people that are playing not on TTS, when you're putting out the neutral ships, you always put 2 in the very middle each time the board rotates, and you just scale up the ships all the way out. Once all the ships are out, that's all there is for the neutral ships. So these 2 large ships came out. That will be it for the neutral ships, and then once those ships are destroyed, it just continues from there. But I did get 2 free large ships currently, but I don't know that's going to help me win anything because you know
All
I'm
details
details and stuff.
and
Man,
stuff.
I'm wondering if I should just you have so much light right now. You're at 16,
Yeah,
17, 18. Oh, it's over. I might as well
I know it's
pretend
over.
like I can pretend like I'm gonna get some light. Okay, I'm ready. Let's go. I
Refresh.
am refreshing.
Okay. So I do not get this planet's not mine. This planet is mine, and
Yep.
this planet's mine. So I get a total of 4 because again I have those techs. I have the 4
Hmm.
techs. That's 1. The middle planet and that edge planet, which means I get my 4 light, and I
Yep.
believe that's the end of the game.
Yep. I do get 1, 2, 3 more light. So I'm up to a whopping 11. Bum, bum, bum. Yeah, sitting on this wrecked me. The fact that you had people sitting there for such a long time, and
It's hurting
then
you. It's killing it.
yeah,
Yeah.
you ended up pulling off your planetary achievement. Being able to pull all that stuff off is really good. Um, if I would have constructed, I would have been able to pull off my planetary achievement here because I was going for yellow. But yeah,
Yeah.
really, really,
And my starting game,
really,
my
really
starting
quick.
tech early game, I managed to lock directly into that civ bonus, the development civ bonus,
Yeah, it's
to
good. It's
immediately
great.
start powering up my research engine and then just focusing heavily on that. But yeah,
Mhm.
it's fun. Okay, cool. This is just as good as I remember.
Yep, it's
Fun.
super, super quick, man. It's ridiculously quick, and that neutral faction adds that whole element. I mean, you were able to blockade my stuff for a little bit with them. You were able to attack some of my stuff. I was able to jump back on your server stuff, and there's that whole element of like, where do I want to be with it? So it ends up tightening up the game with 2 players, and
Yeah.
the fact that the board shrinks. These the rings are actually double sided in the game. So
Hmm.
the number of spaces that there actually even is to go in the game, like the middle only has 3 spaces instead of 5. Like a 4-player game, there's 5 spaces on the middle ring, and there's only 8 spaces instead of being like the normal 12 there would be for like a higher player count game. So it changes up the number of spaces in the board, so it keeps the game extremely tight even at lower player counts.
Yeah, the neutral works well because practically speaking, the way the larger player counts end up simulating is, like you said, attacking in its own is not the problem. The consequence is you're a little bit worried about, okay, great, well, after I attack him, I've made it easier for them to attack me, and there's a little
Mm-hmm.
like multiplayer game going on. It's still worth attacking, but that's the balance. And then, of course, they're
Right.
usually targeting the person who's winning. And the neutral player manages to simulate that very nicely because it favors the person who's losing. And
Mm-hmm.
then it ends up being that little simulator of, I'm going to attack you, but also there's suddenly going to be a ship's attacking me again in a second.
And it gives
So,
you
yeah.
another unit to be able to blockade your opponents with. Like I strategically blockaded you with a couple of neutral ships there, but you were able to go in there, clean it up, which ended up giving you the win. So
Excellent. I would totally play this with 2 players. This was I. It's funny because like when you said, hey, I want to test the 2-player mode, I was
mhm.
like, this is a game, the kind of game where I'd review it without even playing it at 2 players. I would have just played it at 3 and 4, called it a day, and said, hey, I
Right.
played this at 3 and 4.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So that's why I really wanted to get you out here and try it out 2 players so we can show that it works fun. It's fun at lower player count. And it can still play in like an hour and 15 minutes at 8 players, which is ridiculous.
yeah.
So
From when we started, granted, setup's not part of that. From when we started this was under 40 minutes, under 40 minutes. So that's TTS. Yeah,
yep. So it's about
very
the
cool.
same amount of time regardless of player count overall, just because that simultaneous action kind of makes it the same.
Yeah,
So
it's always equal to the slowest player. So there's a slight every additional player adds like 2 minutes to the game just from stats. But that's about it. Very
there you
cool.
go. And that is Last Light. It is
Excellent.
currently over on GameFound right now. You can actually check out this TTS mod there as well. We have the rule book up on there. We just add a bunch of cool add-ons for dice. There's like glow in the dark dice now and nebula dice you can check out. So we're having these cool custom looking dice added into the game. So yeah, make sure to check it out.
Very cool. I'll have a link down below. Roy, thanks for going through this. This was a blast. And when does the Game Found campaign end?
It ends on May 6th. So that is going to be
You have a
super
few days.
exciting.
And if the off chance you miss it, I'm sure there'll be a late pledge option. Although don't wait for that because from what I've seen, the price goes up in the late pledge. So get it now, but if you miss it, you can still get it later.
And
Yeah.
we've been releasing daily aliens and daily like things that are coming out. There's stretch goals. They're adding more ships to the game. There's going to
Completely
be a lot
forgot.
going on.
I forgot to use my tech, my race.
Yeah, you probably should have used that. You would have won even more.
When you build a construct on a planet, immediately gain a crystal of that type. I totally forgot about that.
You would have gained an extra light here, which would have meant that I would have had control of the neutral ships. So I think we're gonna have to put an asterisk
You
on
would have
this
won.
game.
You would have won. Oh my gosh, I totally forgot. You mentioned like the new alien races every day. I was like, yeah, even more variety. What? Okay,
Yeah, there you
cool.
go.
Excellent. Roy, thanks a lot. To everyone else, appreciate you tuning in and have a good one.
Awesome. Thank you.